Hello and welcome to the Feedback Force podcast, the game design analysis podcast of the End Defender community. Hello, welcome back. This has been a minute, but hello, I'm Kelso.
And I'm Kyla.
And I'm Carl.
I got sick.
It
My
happens.
husband brought a cold home. So yeah, don't go to work sick. It's easy to say that, and it's hard to do it when you live in the nightmare capitalist hellscape. But
Yeah.
don't go to work sick, please.
Yeah. Think of your coworkers, if nothing else.
Yeah. Think of your coworker's wife, who got really sick.
Who needs to podcast?
I got a podcast. Yeah, you're really throwing a wrench in the works here with your illnesses. Anyway,
Gave me more time to play Valheim, which my husband has started a big group server among all our friends, so that we can all try and play together. We're trying to get together like big raids for bosses and stuff. So I think so far there's like 6 of us, but still, that's still pretty good.
Man, the I'm gonna start a private server for my friends thing must be going around because Ev was saying earlier this week, he's like, I really want to play Fallout 76, but I don't want to deal with other people, so I think I'm just gonna do a private server, and it'll just be like the 2 of us and like a handful of our friends. I was like, okay, I'll do that if you want. Like, if you're gonna pay for it, sure.
So hosting a private server is a great solution to
it really is
to group gaming. And y'all know I've never been much of a gaming with other people kind of person. I tend to prefer single player.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no,
but
yeah.
The nice thing about Valheim is that I can stay back at the base and just build things continuously, and then other people can go and find resources and bring them to me, and I will build ever bigger and fancier bases.
And you are still an incredibly valued member of the team doing that.
Exactly.
And it's also quite fun to play like single player, but with other people around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is our current stuff. But I am just coming off of a party from yesterday. It is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Happy Pride Month.
So we did like a Pride Month movie night, except it wasn't in the night, it was in the afternoon. But we had like a little hangout. I finally got my hands on a Blu-ray of The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane.
So good.
It's a good freaking movie. Very much a like 90s classic. And so we watched that, and we had watermelon and fresh baked pretzels, and it was a good time.
Oh, the pretzels thing, man, I am impressed. I always think about like, I should make homemade pretzels because they're so good. And then I'm like, that sounds like a lot of effort. I never do it. But yeah, props to Huck for doing that.
Yeah, it's like a thing that he has learned how to do that he pulls out for like fun parties.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is we use Binging with Babish recipe from his episode where it was like, I think it's based on The Office, of like he does a thing where he like makes pretzels and then all of the toppings for them, but we don't bother with the toppings. We just make the pretzels and use like nice salt and like that stuff.
Good salt and just like some cheese sauce. That's all you need, honestly.
Yeah, I always make a queso to have with it, and it's really tasty. And I had a good time. It was a good movie night in the afternoon with friends. I'm going to see a movie tonight too. Also, I guess technically in the afternoon because it's at 4. But this weekend they're showing the Utena movie in theaters nationwide. So I am going to our local cinema to watch the Utena movie on the big screen.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
That's cool as hell.
I didn't know there was a movie.
Oh yes, the Utena movie is like a shortened remix of the series in a lot of ways. It's very surrealist, as you might expect given the series. And so it's arguable whether it's like a retelling of the series or a sequel to the series. There's room for interpretation for both. but it's rad as heck. It's really gorgeous, and weird and cool, and I love it.
I
Yeah,
need to
I
check
haven't.
that out.
Yes, you should.
I I started watching the series like years and years ago, and I just I got like busy and didn't finish it, but I really liked it, and I just need to fucking sit down and watch all of it because man,
Yeah,
Utena is some seminal important
yeah.
stuff, and it's just great. Like
And
beyond being important, it's just great.
the ending of it is also like wild and rad. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I only wish it was like half as long.
Yeah, it does have a lot of fillery parts. It kind of has to, though, in a way, because like part of the way it works is by establishing a formula in similar to like a lot of magical girl stuff, and then by like playing within and undermining that formula.
hmm
So
Yeah, but
you need
it's
the, but
so formulaic.
yeah, it's very formulaic. It definitely doesn't need all the like weird Nanami crack episodes.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
And I chalk that up to just being of its time also is
yeah.
part of it. Um, lot. I mean, we have really cut out the fat in a lot of TV programming just in general, and I'm so glad for it. My God,
Yeah,
I
for
just feel like TV series are getting shorter overall, and just like it's just less filler. And that includes like live action. It includes American TV. It includes across all genres, and then like anime now is also getting way shorter. Great, I'm here for it. I'm old. I don't have time.
yes, but I have seen people lament that like it's a little sad that we don't have like modern series don't get to have the like the beach episodes, like the episodes that are not don't
That is
technically
true.
move the plot forward at all, but they like really help you get to know the characters better and kind of become endeared to them and like
That's fair. You're right.
learn more
The
about
Hot
their
Springs episode.
yeah um, learn more about their individual quirks and trauma and psychoses.
Yeah, just
Uh,
just character development episodes.
yeah, which I I think both things are true. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, if anybody listening needs an excuse to watch Revolutionary Girl Utena, it's only like 39 episodes. It's not one of those like thousands of episode
True.
series
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like it's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
um, but it the showrunner was a director for like half a dozen episodes of Sailor Moon, but they wouldn't let him be as like weird and avant-garde and subversive as he wanted to be. So he went and adapted Utena instead, and was as absolutely batshit as he wanted to be. And man, does it show!
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Um,
because Sailor Moon goes pretty wild as well.
yeah, and yet, but yeah, a like very like seminal sword lesbians uh, anime.
Yeah.
Uh, a little of its time. Definitely watch the subtitled version and not the dub because it's from before dubs were good.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
But yeah,
Although there is a charm to that, and that's something that I think about a lot in terms of especially in terms of like video game voice acting,
mm,
like localization. Like your classic Jill sandwich. Like we've gotten
yeah.
past the point where like even low budget, English localization is at least passable, but sometimes just the dog shit was great. We will never have another Shenmue or Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah,
Um, whatever, it's fine. But
fair enough.
progress marches on. Things get smoothed out. What are you gonna do? I can still play Shenmue and Mr. Mosquito if I want.
Yeah, it has ingrained in me a like a very strong predilection towards subtitles versus dubs.
Same.
Um, even though modern dubs are fine usually for the most
Yeah.
part. But I'm just so used to like, no, I want to hear the original Japanese inflection. Um, speaking of which, I did also start a new anime, and I guess finish a new anime between the past showings, which was Go For It Nakamura-kun,
What is
um,
that? I
which
feel like
is
I've heard of
a
that.
It's just finished releasing. It's based on a manga. It is like a slice of life comedy, like high school comedy kind of thing. The premise is just that like uh, there is a high school boy. He has a crush on another boy in his class, and he is completely incapable of saying anything about it. Like, just so bad at admitting his feelings or like even talking to this boy at all. And
Oh,
so it's about his struggles to like just to even be friends with this boy, just to like have enough uh, social not capital, but like presence and ability to control himself that he can have like a normal friendship. And it's
yeah.
very sweet
Okay.
and very cute.
Yeah, I've seen screenshots of this. I really like the look of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got this very like kind of soft, not quite watercolory, but like
Hmm.
there's a softness to it, and it sounds funny. I should probably
Yeah.
watch that. Yeah, you're
And
right.
the main character's design is very much designed after like much older animes, like your 80s kind of
Yeah,
like late 80s early 90s sort of anime character design, which is kind of fun.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very sweet and very funny, and I recommend it.
I love when the main character in anything is just a completely doofus loser.
Yeah.
Just has no chill.
Yeah,
I think main characters should be less cool in general.
um, like one of the to give you an idea of the kind of like absolute high school cringe fail going on in one of the early episodes. He discovers that like a classmate of his is a really good artist and asks her to draw like a little manga of him and his crush being friends so that he
Ugh.
could just have it to read.
Oh, Nakamura, you're so fucking cringe fail. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
as I said, it's very sweet and very cute, and it really plays up the like absolute drama of high school feelings,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, which is not always my cup of tea. Sometimes I find that like a little too awkward or like too repetitive, but this one is like it's only a 13 episode series, and I found it very sweet. Anyway,
How's
what else?
the Umineko going?
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Or
I
did
have
you
I have
quit?
not played more of it since last time.
That's
I
fair.
I I intended to, but like A, this game took longer than I thought it was going to, and B, we have the Valheim server now, so any any spare time. I have not played any more Umineko, and I have not played any more Split Fiction either, because we've been all of our free gaming time has been going into the Valheim server. So
That's fair.
we will get back to it, I'm sure. Um, as I
That's
said,
me with the Path of Exile right now.
yeah.
Or
Just
I'm just about coming to an end with this season, I think.
Yeah. As in, you're actually getting to the end of the game, or just your interest in it is waning?
No, like I'm my interest. It's over.
Yeah,
fair.
but
But I've been
I,
going pretty hard on it, so that's fair enough.
yeah, no, I do that. I feel like with um, Minecraft every few years, where it's like I get an itch to play it, and then I play it like really a lot for like a few weeks, and I'm like, all right, that's good enough. I did it. And
I'm
now I'm done for a
satisfied.
while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Any other fun fun events over the past few weeks?
All right, I've gotten
Depends what you
distracted.
mean by fun, but the World Cup is going.
The World Cup
It
is going,
is.
and it's the World Cup has come here because
Yeah.
Seattle is one of the host cities, um, which it shows you just how little I know about World Cup stuff. Where I had heard that we were hosting it, and I'm like, oh, so all of the games will be here. But that's not how it works, as it turns out. It's like hosted in a number of different cities across the U.S.
Yeah,
And
it's fine.
across Canada and Mexico.
Yes, the North American World Cup. And uh, yeah, so we had Australia versus US here just like on
On
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
And so we are like, let's not go take public transit or go anywhere near downtown.
Smart choice. Very smart choice.
But yeah, we got two more group stage matches and then a round of 32 match and a round of 16 match that are still here. And then the people will stop crowding our transits.
Yeah, and the US is doing well, so
Yeah, we're doing okay apparently, I'm told. It's
I mean,
the big sports thing that really is in the U.S. right now is Americans watching tourists discover America, which has been
yeah,
a lot of fun.
it's
Just
pretty
like,
lovely. I don't know. I it does feel good to like see tourists from other countries come here and be like, "Oh, this place isn't completely irredeemable."
yeah,
It's I needed that right now a little bit. Even
yeah,
if it's just like your breakfasts are nice.
yeah,
Or wow, you do have yellow school buses. Like, yes, please. There's some whimsy here.
yeah.
We're trying.
Or it turns out ranch dressing it really is that good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and if you are like digging the store-bought stuff,
Oh
if
yeah,
you've ever made homemade ranch,
I was
oh
gonna say
man.
the store bought ranch dressing is for the most part actually garbage, but restaurant ranch dressing, freaking amazing.
Yeah. There's okay, the one store-bought brand of ranch that I will stand by is the Ken's Steakhouse Buttermilk Ranch, and it's actually pretty good for a store-bought ranch. So, that's my
Yeah,
pro tip.
I've
That's
been
my pro ranch tip from an American. I'm
yeah
saluting my
most store brand ranches are too sweet, um, and
Yes.
the because ranch should not be sweet; it should be tangy. Um, but they have to like change the recipes to some extent to make it shelf stable. But I've been
Yeah.
using the Hidden Valley Buttermilk Ranch as well. Like I think the buttermilk ranches are better on the whole than the like what they
Hmm.
sell as base ranches because when you make your own ranch, you put buttermilk in it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the
Um,
Hidden Valley Buttermilk Ranch is okay. It's like not amazing, but it's not as good as fresh restaurant stuff, but it is
and like
okay.
next best thing, most restaurants I think are just using packet mix and mixing it with their like mayo, buttermilk, whatever base,
Mm,
and the packet mixes do hit the spot if you want to put in like just that little bit much more of effort.
okay,
So
that's good to know.
that's my other pro tip. I also like throwing, like oiling up some chopped up potatoes and tossing some of that ranch seasoning on them and roasting them, and you get ranch potatoes,
Mhm.
and it's really good. So
Nice.
there's getting a lot of ranch based advice from me today. Uh,
I need to make some homemade ranch because the ones I've had have been garbage.
Yeah, it's a very like specific thing, and like the again the properly made fresh stuff has like buttermilk and fresh dill and a lot of other stuff that like you can't stabilize super easily. So
mhm.
it's hard to get like a prepackaged version that really like hits the spot. But yeah, you know,
And yeah, you are right. They are mostly too sweet, I guess, because sugar is also a preservative,
mm,
but doesn't doesn't hit the way you want it to.
yeah. Um, the old Pizza Hut by us used to have like really amazing in-house ranch dressing. I don't know what it was, but it's good stuff. Anyway, um, World Cup. We were talking about World Cup stuff. How's Sweden doing, by the way?
We started off strong by winning by with 5-1,
Ooh.
and then we lost by 5-1.
Oh.
So
So it kind of evened out.
yeah, yesterday was a bit sad.
Sorry to hear. I I know like very little. That's another thing among the like Europeans experiencing culture shock in America has apparently been people like being astonished how little Americans care about the World Cup.
Yeah.
That surprises me because I think we all know like the soccer isn't that big in America.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. You would
At
think, but
least men's soccer.
yeah. Apparently our women's team is quite good, I'm told.
Yeah.
Extremely good.
It might be just because like the surprise because man, we do go pretty hard for the Olympics when the Olympics is happening, and you would think that that energy would be carried over, but it really isn't. So that might be it, part of it at least, by
Yeah.
my guess.
I remember seeing like a I don't know if it was a TikTok video or whatever, but video of someone like British couple who were like staying at an Airbnb for the World Cup and like were outside and one of them was listening to the radio and the US scored and she's like and I was expecting to like hear people cheering all up and down the block like you would in the UK if the UK team scored a goal, but nothing. It was silent. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's paying attention to the game.
Yeah, it's it weirdly, and I didn't realize this when I moved here, but weirdly soccer is like kind of a big deal in Virginia Beach
Huh.
because we have like several like local football clubs. And I don't know anybody who like participates in this, but I know that it exists because I drive by one of their complexes on my way to work every day. And I'm like, I wonder what goes on in there because it's all behind like walls and it's gated off. It's very mysterious. So, yeah. But again, I don't hear cheering when
Yeah.
anybody scores anything around here. So that's part of it too.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, looking forward to. Well, I would say like looking forward to getting our city back a little bit, but to be honest, I
Yes.
don't leave my house that much, so it actually hasn't
Yeah.
been affecting me hugely. And I'm
Yeah.
glad people are getting to see and enjoy Seattle who would not normally. So
Yeah. Seattle's, yeah. I don't know. I think about like the time that I spent living there and I'm like, that was a nice place to live for a few years. Good place to visit.
yeah,
I'm
I
okay with where I'm at now.
I still like being here
Yeah.
for the most part. So and it's starting to be the beautiful what we call recruiting season, which
Mm-hmm.
is the part of the year where it's nice and you tell all your friends to come up and like, don't you want to move here? Look how nice it is, and then you don't tell them about the 9 months of rain.
Yeah. Or you're a freak like me and you come to for your visit during recruiting season and you're like, man, I hope it's not like this all year. I hope I'm not being lied to about the rain. And then it turns out you're not being lied to about the rain and it's great.
Oh,
But I'm a weirdo. I'm a little bit of a I'm a little bit of a weirdo. A little bit quirky.
a
I'm
little,
sorry, guys. My
a little
brain
not
is
like
like
other girls like that.
my brain is like not functioning today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Um,
That's all right.
yeah, I'm a little quirky, but um, yeah.
All right.
Those first few weeks of like nice weather are really worth it, though.
Yeah, after months of excuse me,
Bless you.
after months of rain, it's nice to have a little bit of sunshine. And but I mean,
Eternal darkness.
we have already broken out the air conditioner, so it's a
Fair.
small window of
Yeah.
reasonable. So,
Ugh.
any other stuff to discuss, or should we jump into the game that we played?
Yeah, I think we can jump into the game.
All right.
Yeah, we played Opus Prism Peak by Sigono, not to be confused by Simogo.
Yeah, which I did get confused
I
a
was
couple times.
thinking about that as well. I was like, wait.
Yeah, different company.
And published by Shueisha. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
fair. Which is Shueisha a Japanese company or a Chinese company, because I think it might be a Chinese arm of a Japanese publisher. Like I was trying to look this up and having a tough time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
The other
Oh,
question I have is Opus a Chinese or a
So I did
Japanese
ask.
game?
So speaking of always wanting to watch the subtitled version of anime instead of dub, I went on the Steam community page and was like, "Hey, I would love to play this game in whatever language it was initially like recorded in, and sort of like its home language. What is the home language for this game?"
hmm
And I did get a response from the devs. And they said it was originally written in traditional Chinese, but they did all of the like the writing of the other scripts in other languages simultaneously, and were very careful and conscientious to make sure that the translations were good. So like all of the languages should be fine, but traditional Chinese is apparently the one. So I did end up playing most of the game in Chinese. I
Okay.
played at least a little bit of the game in every single language that was on the list as I was cycling through, trying to decide which voice acting I liked best. Because I did not actually care for the English voice acting that much.
Yeah,
And
I
so I eventually,
usually do that, but I ended up in English anyway.
yeah, there's some mechanics in the game that actually make English a little bit better. Weirdly, or a language that you are very familiar with and fluent in at the very least. Um,
Sure.
and so I got a lot of use out of playing it in English early on, but I did end up playing, I think, at least the second half or so of maybe more of the game in Chinese. So which
See, I'm just confused about like I know there's a whole bunch of Opus games and they're all not necessarily really related, but all of the other ones are like sci-fi, like space opera games, and then this one is really, really not.
yeah,
So I'm just kind of
Yeah,
confused about like what is the like overarching like
aesthetic of the company.
thematic element, yeah, like theme or of just like the Opus series even as well.
Yeah, I think
Because you look at the
it's a
rest of them and
shared
it's
universe thing or something like that.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Like I think that's what because I went to their like publicity page to try and find out about the publisher and the language and stuff. And I think they mentioned that like all of their games technically take place in the same world, but they're not. The stories are not related to each other.
Well, you
Uh,
can do that really easy if all of your other stories are like far future sci-fi and
yeah.
this is just a fantasy. Like you can just
yeah,
say that.
yeah, that's
Well,
fair.
I'm not ragging on him. I'm not ragging on him. It's just
And to be fair,
it's
like not only that, but spoilers, most of this game is a dream anyway. So,
yeah,
or a hallucination.
or
Um,
something.
Yeah, it made me quite curious to see like what's the deal with the other games.
yeah, that's fair. It's so this game is very much like it's seems like heavily influenced by Spirited Away. It's got like big Spirited Away energy plus like a Mirror Mask or Wizard of Oz
Mm,
kind of like I'm in this like alternate fantasy place, but it's secretly an allegory for my life, and everyone here has like a 1-to-1 correlation to someone from my real world life.
yeah, it's like if isekai wasn't purely fan service.
Well,
Like
sure,
isekai with a point.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of other fiction that has done this that
Yeah.
with the we are, but yeah, no, it reminded me strongly of Mirror Mask actually.
I
Um,
guess The Wizard of Oz might be like a really good analog for that
yeah,
since it does like the direct correlation. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
where the witch is the evil lady who's like trying to take my dog away, and like this character represents my father, and this is like the farmhand I know, and
Yeah.
so on. Um, but instead of being a young girl from Kansas, you are a young man from rural Japan? Question mark.
Rural
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
Well, but his name is Eugene Chen, so I don't know how Japanese this character is supposed to be. I have no clue. I
rural
literally have no
China?
clue.
Question mark.
me neither, but it
Yeah,
looks so Japanese.
it
It does.
does. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a big anime vibe. Um, and uh, you play, yeah, you play as Eugene, a guy who is his name is not Eugene in the other languages, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
the Yeah, so he's a photographer who's kind of had like a shitty string of bad luck in his life, more or less. I mean, it's not all just luck, but like a lot of it has also just been bad luck. Um,
It's just a bad turn of events. Yeah,
Bad
yeah,
luck and
unfortunately.
bad decisions.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of he's going back to his rural hometown for for a funeral, and he crashes his car and goes on a like you know psychological fantasy journey to
Mm-hmm.
get back home, um, led by a manic pixie dream girl psychopomp. Only,
Child.
yeah, only spoilers. The manic pixie dream girl is himself as a child.
Himself as a child, but wearing the skin of his deceased daughter. If his deceased daughter had grown up, there's a
Yeah,
lot going
Yeah,
on.
it
yeah,
that's it's a bit weird. And honestly, they don't really give a good reason to why.
yeah. They don't. They sure don't.
They they I mean, yeah, they sort of they mention like a reason and I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But it's
Yeah,
not like really they don't really talk about
it's.
it.
I mean, it kind of it does make thematic sense in a certain way. Like the daughter part does not. The daughter
No,
part feels
that's
like
what I mean. The daughter
yeah,
part does not.
yeah,
Oh, see the thing that there was like a little like a throwaway line where the like animal aspect of the daughter who the daughter like died as an infant.
yeah.
Um
Six
but
months old.
she's Yeah, so she's represented by like a butterfly in the world. And when she meets uh Eugene, our main character's like I don't know,
Child
child
stuff.
form, she says like, "Oh, well, like I'll give you this body. It's what I would have looked like if I'd grown up and he'll like that." Like so I think the idea is just like trying to give again like give this psychopomp like a form that
Mhm.
he would react to positively on like a subconscious level, and that's enough
Sure.
of a justification for me even though it's not great. You
Yeah.
know,
Even
at least they
though like
addressed it.
even though he has no way of knowing what his daughter would have looked like at like 12 or however old she's supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel like you could pick up on that subconsciously as like a oh, huh,
Maybe.
like this person looks like a combination of me and my ex-wife. Like I
Yeah.
like on a subconscious level, I feel like that might
Yeah.
click something even if
Maybe.
you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
giving it the benefit of the doubt.
as I said in the
In the
in our
Discord.
podcast Discord, I'm just really glad that it wasn't his ex-wife, because I you could tell early on that okay, this girl is supposed to represent someone from
Hmm.
his life, right? Because everybody does.
Yes.
And it's like someone special and important to him, even compared to other people who are in this, weird landscape, fantasy landscape. And I was like, okay, how like anime bullshit is this
Yes.
is
Yeah,
are we going to get here? Is this going to be like the 12-year-old girl is a representation of his wife? Just like anything other than that and I'm fine. Right? Like just don't let it be
Yes.
that. And it was, to its credit, it was not that. The ex-wife
And
is
like
in there and continues to hate him and is also an
yeah,
interesting character.
I and we're for sure getting ahead of ourselves here. I'll just say this, and we can circle back to it. I like really liked how they handled the ex-wife.
Yeah,
Honestly, um,
she was cool.
just yeah, like a good nuanced portrayal where in a game where our player character is, the ex-husband, it is always so easy when framed like that to be like, my ex-wife was a bitch, but no, she's a full person and he actually comes to understand like why their marriage didn't work and how he fucked it up. And that's so refreshing.
Yeah.
Good job.
And it wasn't even like necessarily that he like completely fucked it up because he's like a
No.
terrible person or anything. It's just like they were kind of incompatible in some ways. And like they were ways that didn't really show themselves until a crisis. And so it,
Yeah.
it kind of explains why, like, it kind of makes sense why it fell apart. And yeah, she's good.
Yeah. And
But
I
yeah,
think the
It's a
other cool
little
thing
bit he
about
fucked up.
it's a little bit.
and that's the thing. I think it is like it could have been saved and he
Mhm.
didn't figure it out in time. So like
Yeah,
he did fuck it up a little bit, but it wasn't like, oh, there's no way this could have worked. Like it could
yeah,
have worked if he had played his cards differently and like
yeah. But also, he was
again,
not
it
the sort of person who, like, it would have occurred to him to provide the things that she actually needed, right? Like, he
yeah,
did try to provide, like, comfort, but in his way, which was not the way that she needed. Um,
and
and
this actually does become like both of their fuck ups, right? Because
yeah,
he was not providing what she needed and she didn't communicate.
yeah,
Um so it's again just like a good kind of nuanced portrayal of a failed marriage, which I feel
yeah.
like you don't see very often.
Yeah, and a
So
failed
good
marriage that
job.
like fell apart because their child died, which like that's
Yeah.
rough. So,
Yeah. I've
uh,
seen that at the divorce law firm that I work with.
yeah, I bet. But
It's
yeah,
rough.
so I guess let's go back to the beginning. He's
Hmm.
our Eugene has grew up in a small town on like the side of a at the foot of a mountain, where he lived with his parents and his grandfather. And his grandfather was kind of this adherent of a like weird nature cult religion, um, and like called him by like a secret name. And
Tolka.
yeah, Toka,
Talca. Yeah, something like that.
something like that. Yeah, and the uh, at one point, like that. So the grandfather was slowly like losing his eyesight. But he was a photographer, and so like this was real bad for him. So he was teaching Eugene to use a camera, and also like Eugene's mother kind of ran away from them at a fairly young age, just sort of disappeared. And that's explored a little bit later in the game. But so then after that, it was just he was just there with his dad and grandfather, and the grandfather was not only losing his eyesight, but maybe also like getting a little bit of dementia or something. Like he was kind of not not as firmly held to reality as
Sure.
before. And he kind of kept falling deeper and deeper into this religion as like an explanation for things, in not
Yeah,
always
it's
in healthy ways.
a little bit hard to know like what's real.
Yeah, how
So
much
like
like beliefs were.
I
Yeah.
mean, if the Dusk Clans is real, then he's not like completely
Hmm.
losing his mind, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, and there does seem to be some kind of like magic power stuff at work, but also like even if it is real, towards the end he was like kind of losing it a little bit, like
Yeah.
convinced that he
Yeah.
needed to go by himself into the mountains to like see God. It's like, maybe hold your horses a little bit there, buddy.
I mean,
you
Um,
know,
maybe he saw God.
Maybe he did. Um, and the end result was him uh, like wandering into the mountains during like a dangerous fog and disappearing, and they never saw him again. So kind of a like traumatic moment for the kid. But he, you know, moved by his grandfather's, teaching him photography, he ended up moving to the big city to do photography professionally. He kind of met a photography mentor there who was a pen pal of his grandfather's, and learned, stayed with him in his studio, and learned the proper technique and whatnot, and then eventually got a job as a journalist, um, and eventually lost that job as a journalist for reasons, and then tried to start a cafe, and the cafe was okay for a little bit, until like it sounds like some political machinations from the photojournalism job kind of came back to bite him a little bit, and there was some unfortunate circumstances with where like the landlord like wanted the building back and they had to close the cafe, and now he's like down on his luck and pawned his camera, and like everything's gone to shit basically.
Yeah, that whole middle section of the game where like okay, he lost his like career and then he started a new career and then lost that too because of like a conspiracy? Question mark? It was a
Yeah.
little nebulous. Yeah.
Yeah, and along the way, like there's other kind of tragedies. Obviously, like he met his wife um, at the journalism job, and they were together for like 3 years, I think, and they had a baby, but the baby died young, and then they got divorced. And as a like the childhood tragedy thing, like when he was like a teenager, also there was like a big uh, like tension between the small rural town he grew up with, and like a um just like
Like
a
a
big
big real
development
estate development.
yeah
Yeah.
company, and they wanted to like put proper roads in so people could come to the town, and they were like buying up a lot of land, and there was a lot of protests from the locals, and he joined a protest group and had a bunch of friends who were also protesting it, and um, they kind of felt like he abandoned the cause when he left, but then they sort of gave in and supported the change afterwards, and so then he felt kind of like they abandoned the cause, and
Yeah, like this was all for nothing. Yeah.
yeah, so it was a whole falling out. And yeah, as you play uh, as Eugene, after your car wrecks in the rain, you go through a tunnel and you come out into this fantasy world where you are told that you must take this strange girl to the top of a mountain, in order to get home. Um, and she helps you like escape from like a giant nightmare beast of
Hmm.
like black goo. Um, but
The
she's also
shade.
the shade, yes, and she's also fading away slowly because she's been touched by the shade, so she's like semi-transparent a lot of the time. And
Hmm.
they view Eugene in this world as the seer, which basically just means a photographer, someone someone who can like see the true form of things and like show you your true form. So a lot of the mechanics of the game are just it's basically like a series of individual rooms that you can walk around and take pictures in, and the
Hmm.
game is about taking enough pictures to move on to the next room in the sequence.
Yeah, it's not really a photography mechanic, but you do take a lot of pictures.
I mean, you do have like they do make you adjust like lighting and focus
Yeah,
and
okay, yeah. What I mean is sort of like your the reason you take pictures is to have an interactable.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The photography is a way of uncovering like what is meaningful in the scene. And to be honest, I actually like I really love the way they dovetail the mechanic and the themes in this game. I think that's like one of the things this game does really really well, is that
Mhm.
the metaphor is about perspective and being able to see things clearly, but also like photography as a way of preserving memories And like, because like one thing that his grandfather imparts on him really early when he's taking pictures is you have to care about the subject of the photograph, right? Like the important thing to taking good photographs is that like you care about the thing you're photographing, because if you care, then people will see the way that you care in your photographs. And so it's not even that he has to just take pictures of people. He has to take pictures of people and then show them the pictures that he has taken. In other words, he has to like quantify the way that he feels about these people and cares about them, and then share that with them to communicate to them and connect with them like how he feels. And I think like that's a really cool way of using photography as a metaphor. And I really like
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah, I would agree that that's a strong part of the game. Um, the game has so many metaphors,
It
and
really does.
way
Yeah.
too many.
I mean, it is an allegory. The whole narrative is is just a one-to-one allegory, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, yeah, and then you get this big shade, which like eats up memories and makes you forget things about yourself and about the world and about people you care about. And so, like remembering who you are and remembering your name is something that like the seer can help you with, because they can take a picture of you and actually see you properly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you take the little girl first down to like the village. I think the first spirit you meet is the boar, right? The giant boar.
Um, no, the first
No,
one you
it's
meet is the
the elk.
ox. Oh, it's yeah, it
Sorry,
is. You're right. It is the deer.
Yeah,
it's the deer. Yeah, the
The deer, and
sambar
then
deer.
it's the
The
yeah,
Yeah, the ox. Sorry, I was thinking of the ox, and I just got my animals
yeah,
mixed up with the
yeah, I
German.
figured.
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so the first one you meet is the deer. The deer is the grandfather's um,
Like analog.
analog. Yeah, representation was the word I was looking for.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and so he like he gives you your camera back and kind of teaches you at the photography mechanic, and tells you that your quest is to take this girl up the mountain. Um, and shit is mysterious. One of the mechanics is that like the there's the secret names that everyone has from this like from the grandfather's religion, and they're all written in a series of just kind of hieroglyphs, basically like weird symbols that you don't recognize, and you translate them over the course of the game by inputting them into like it's just an alphabet cipher.
Yeah,
um,
Mhm.
in the back of your book, and it does let you like guess and try things as early as you want. So
Mhm.
you do find stones that help you, um, like give you an exact like this letter is this and this number is this and so on. But also, if you like are listening closely to the sound of people's names when they're spoken in dialogue, and you see their name pop up in symbols, you can use that to kind of get some symbols early if you want to. You
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
really get rewarded for doing that in any way, but you can, and it feels
You
good to
get
be
it.
ahead of the curve.
You do get an achievement if
Yeah,
you're into that.
yeah,
I'm
and
curious how that works in like Chinese or Japanese.
yeah. I mean, there must be another kind of analog that they use. I mean, I guess in Japanese you could just use like katakana, um, and it would be a different number of symbols, but at least it would be a sound based one. I don't know how they do it in Chinese. Um, but there's also like there's a secret cipher in the journal where like one of the things you find is each animal has a constellation, and the stars in the constellation are numbered and have a one of those symbols, and it spells out a secret message if you solve it. And I did solve it, and I was disappointed that it doesn't actually like it's just lore. It doesn't do anything. I was
Yeah,
hoping it would be like a secret ARG code or something.
I got really close to like 100% on all of the spirit animals. Like I was like there were a couple that I didn't like have the like fully seen like I didn't get the little extra bit at the very end. There were like two. But most of them I was at like 93 to like 97, but I didn't manage to 100% any of them. I'm like how did I do like how did I fuck this up?
I think
But
I 100%ed either all of them or all but one, but I also save scummed relentlessly. Anytime
that's
I had a
fair.
conversation and it seemed like I picked the bad answer, I would just reload.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that it was going to be as important at the beginning. So I did when I was like still figuring out like how do these conversation systems work? I did like fuck up one of the answers with the ox, and by
Hmm.
the time I realized like, oh, this is how this works, I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I fucked
No
up so
way.
many of these answers
So
because
one of
I just answered what I felt.
Yeah, which is fair. So one of the features of this game, which I absolutely love, is the game has a thing called comfort mode. Um, which did you guys play with comfort mode on or off?
I
I
don't
believe I did
know.
it off.
So
Whatever the default is, which I guess is probably off, I'm
off, yeah.
assuming.
So when it introduces it, it says like, okay, this game has comfort mode. There are two ways to play it. Either like you can have it off, in which case you may miss things, just like in real life. And then I forget what the description is of like having it on, but it's like you will be given guidance towards important things. And when you turn it on, all it is a checklist for collectibles. It's like,
Oh
hey,
shit.
Oh,
yeah, it's a checklist for, hey, here are all of the photos that you will need to take before you leave this area. And the ones that have like a slightly secret way of getting them, here's how you get them. Um, and it doesn't show you the exact photo, it shows you like a slightly blurred out version of it. So you can kind of tell vaguely what it's supposed to be. But yeah, it lets you get every photo that matters to the story. There are still some photos you can take that are like not on the list that will still give you like little bits of description and stuff, but all the ones that are
sure.
needed for journal completion are in that checklist. And my
Oh,
God, did I
that's
love having
damn.
that.
Well, shit. I should have
That
just
sounds
done.
good.
See, I do remember seeing that at the very beginning and being like, "Oh, this is gonna signpost stuff like too hard," so I didn't turn it on. But now I wish I would have. I figured it would be a lot more obtrusive.
Yeah, and
But oh well.
it's not even like a checklist that pops up. It's like a button that you can press to pull up a checklist.
Dang.
Yeah, I
Um,
had a few times where I moved on with the story, and then I went like, "Oh shit, I forgot to take this picture and do
yeah,
this."
yeah, and there's some stuff that like you do need to have taken like way later in the game. They ask you to produce a photo from like a much previous section. Um,
Yeah.
which if you don't have it, you don't have it. They do have a like I guess in one of their recent patches they introduced chapter select. So after you beat the game, you can go back and play individual chapters if you want to collect some of the stuff that you didn't
Yeah,
find, which is nice of them. Like that's good. But I
Yeah.
was I was like, no, I'm playing this perfectly the first time. So I had my comfort mode on. And I was like relentlessly checking everything and reloading saves if I felt like I missed something.
Yeah, I wish I would have done that because this game is too long for me to go back to like it's too long for me to feel like it's worth it to go back to like 100% everything, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's fair.
And
I agree.
I'm not dissatisfied with how I played it. I got most of the way on most of the things. You know, I missed a few murals and I missed a few questions and like I didn't get everything, but
Yeah, and
that's fine.
it's fine. Honestly, it doesn't change anything.
yeah.
It's really
I
just for the
Yeah.
achievements.
I looked up the true ending, and
Hmm.
then I went like, "Huh, that's
Are
not
there
that's not a lot of difference."
is there a different true ending? Uh,
Someone said something like that, so I looked it
I
up, and
I did read that there's like the ending that most people are going to get if they're like actually trying, and then there's the air quotes true ending, which I think you have to 100% all of the spirit animal. Like you basically have to like do everything. Actually, maybe it's just all the spirit animals. I don't know if you have to get all the mural, but there's like a little there's like a different one. So what happens in the true ending?
Well,
I
Or we can get
didn't.
to
I
it
don't
later.
know.
Okay.
all bonds character arc complete. Um, the things I don't know whether I got all of them or whether the ox was at 98%. Um, I thought let's see.
You Oh, okay, yeah. No, I'm looking at your achievements and it does say fully C, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be 100%. You're correct.
I think I probably got it. I don't know. It felt like a complete ending. Okay, hold on. Here's the wiki. Um, the peak ending is a brief additional sequence that follows the Prism ending. You just have to have greater than 80% for everyone in the field notes, according to the wiki,
Oh, well, I
which I
think I
definitely
did.
did.
What
Did
so
you
wait, what
did you
happens?
get a little? Did you get a little thing after the credits?
Yes.
I don't remember.
You
I
sit with
don't
like
remember.
some child in the space.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I didn't get that. I think maybe I had the ox at like 79% or something fucking
Yeah,
stupid like that. Like
that's
I
fair.
was so close and I was so mad. But okay. Well, then that doesn't
Okay,
matter,
so I
really.
did get it.
Yeah, I think it's probably that. Um, it's it's fine. Like honestly, I mean, again, we are not going in order, and we should be going in order. But the game has so many endings, by which I mean that in like the Lord of the Rings sense, where like that any one of these things could have been the end sequence of the game for like the last 3 hours of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. And then I was playing it and then I got the credits and I'm like, thank goodness. And then the credits ended and there was more cutscene and I'm like, no, the game ended. Stop.
See,
Stop playing the
I
game.
sat through the whole credits expecting that and I was like, "Oh, never mind. I guess I didn't get the guess I didn't do it right."
Yeah,
Oh well.
it's really not important. It's just one more conversation between the I think it's between like feverish child Eugene and the butterfly spirit.
Okay.
Um, and it's fine. It's like the deciphering the letter, the like the star code in the journal. Like it doesn't actually like feel like it really. It just gives it a little bit of additional flavor. It doesn't actually do anything. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
let me see. I wonder if I did actually ask on the forums if like what's the deal with the um, what's the deal with the ending, um, and let's see if anybody. No one has replied to it.
Okay.
Or sorry, not the ending. I posted what's the deal with the secret star code? Is it meant to do anything or be entered somewhere, or is it just lore? And nobody has gotten back to me. So either no one knows or no one cares.
Fair.
um, for what it's worth, the if you put all of the stars in or like numbered order and then translate the symbols on the stars, it says, if the cosmos was not what brought us together, the cosmos never was. That's the whole thing.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
Maybe you need to play the other games to understand it.
yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a
Maybe
tie-in.
that
Maybe it's a big ARG tie-in with other games uh, in this universe.
that's too much work.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it
Yep.
is.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, after meeting the deer on the side of this, I guess you start on a mountain and you go down that mountain and then through the city and then up a different mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so you start on the one mountain, you meet the deer, which is your grandfather. Then you go down into the town, the like village. And
The factory.
first you come to the factory. That's like the woodworking shop, basically. And you meet a giant ox who represents your father. Um, although it's early enough that you don't, I guess, I think maybe even as early as the ox, it starts becoming clear that, like, oh, this is an analog of a character from your real life.
It definitely made sense immediately with the deer being because the deer like give first of all at the very beginning like you hear like dialogue voiceover dialogue between a young Eugene and his grandfather, and then you meet the deer and the deer has the same voice and he gives you a camera and it's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems significant.
yeah,
But at this point also we hadn't had enough information about literally anyone else in the family, so
yeah.
the dad connection was a little like
Question,
okay, who's
question
this
mark.
guy? But it does definitely become clear.
Yeah, and so you have to. He's like buried, half buried under the factory, and you have to do the usual thing of take his picture, show him his picture, like to wake him up, and then he will rise up and let you pass. Um,
And he'll ask you a question, and if you answer the question wrong, you fuck up your entire game.
you fuck up not seeing
I mean,
a like 3-minute cutscene at the end of the credits.
Yeah. No, it just I'm a little salty that like this
it,
mechanic is just like, okay, we're gonna give you like make or break decisions in the very beginning before you understand what any of this
And this
is.
is actually
Damn
where
it.
I went back and did my first save scum because of the checklist, because
Mm.
you have to take a picture of his eye after you've talked to him, but before you wake him up with his official picture. Um, and
Ah,
I had not realized that after I woke him up, I would not have a chance to take a picture of the eye. So I like woke him up the first time. I'm like, oops, and I reset and went back and
that's fair.
retook it.
That's
Um,
fair.
yeah, and so yeah, then you go down into the town proper. I think the train station is next,
yeah.
and
Yes.
where
And you
you meet
meet the cat.
dog.
Dog.
I mean, dog.
she's
Close
got
enough.
she's like kind of a Anubis style, like
Doberman?
black pharaoh hound sort of looking thing.
Yeah.
Um,
She's the Tsundere dog.
oh my god, like
And
the most stereotypical tsundere. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
ask you. Like, I'm not waiting here for you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
this is kind of where it becomes clear that, like,
You are
they
the
are people from the past and, like, who they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they like there are definitely like there are explicit moments in the game as you're filling out like your little journal about stuff where they do drop the metaphor and they just straight up show you the person. And in fact, to complete the journal, like the last entry in everyone's the last line in everyone's entry is you have to guess who that person is, and you get one guess at that. If you fuck it up, like it's just red and you don't get to guess again.
The game is so harsh.
So yeah,
It really is.
it's weird because like they give you a lot of opportunities to guess for other things. Um, like every time you get uh, you interact with something that's interactable in the scene, you get a little seed, and you can burn seeds in the fire pit to like get stuff. But also, every time you burn a seed, you get ash. And every time you are asked to produce a photograph and you produce the wrong one, you also get ash. So you can accumulate a great deal of ash, and ash is a currency that is used to guess in the journal. So like
Mhm.
every guess you make costs usually 1 or 2 ash, and I had like hundreds of ash by the end. So like I could guess
Yeah.
as long as I
Yeah.
wanted in the journal for stuff, except you have to guess correctly who they are on the first try. They don't let you brute force that, which is like kind of annoying because like when it came to guessing the dog, um, I guessed childhood friend because I'm like, well, she is someone that I knew from my youth,
Mhm.
and like clearly, like a romantic relationship didn't work out between them. So like, I don't know if this counts as like first love or just friend, and they wanted you to put first love, and
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so
They
saves count.
I had the exact same decision. Fortunately, I put first love, so I did get it correctly.
Yeah,
But they should have allowed multiple options.
yeah, allow
Yeah.
multiple options, and or just like the it might have been
Give you another guess.
give you another guess, or just make it clearer the nature of the relationship before that guess comes up, because like
Yeah.
they kind of resolve that ambiguity a little bit more later on,
They
that,
for
that
sure.
like the two of them kind of had a thing and like maybe almost dated or did date for like a little bit and then broke up or whatever, um, but like they at that point it's not actually that well established, so how are you supposed to know?
Yeah.
um, so that one was rough, and there was I think one other, oh yeah, it was like the one about coworkers. Like one of them you were supposed to say like good friend, and the other one you were supposed to say junior coworker, and I'm like, they both seem like they are both uh friends, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not friends. um
God, I
but
failed all three of those.
yeah.
It
I
didn't
I
help that I
lucky
took a
guessed.
break from the game before.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah. I lucky guessed the coworker ones and got them both right. And I had a similar situation where I had taken a long break and came back into it and was like stuck because I couldn't remember what I was trying to do, and it was like, "Oh, I need to do something else." And I was like, What do I need?" So I did look up a guide very briefly, and as I was looking at that guide, I saw "Oh, she's your first love," and like I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have looked at that," but then it stuck in my head, so it's like, "Oh, I guess I'll just use that information."
Yeah,
Um, I would not have gotten that correct if I had not gotten stuck earlier and looked something up.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so you take the train into the village. On the train, you meet your old mentor figure, who's like an old goat.
yeah.
I feel like this maybe was one of my favorite characters. I really liked the old mentor.
Hmm.
He's just kind of like a nice old dude. He was just pleasant.
I liked a lot of the character designs just in general. But yeah, like I feel like a lot of these characters like there's a big mismatch between like how much you interact with some of them versus others.
Hmm.
Um, which feels a little off because they're all supposed to be people who are very significant. But like your coworkers from the newspaper or the magazine, like almost none of them really get like all of their screen time is kind of condensed into one chapter that like
Yeah,
each of the other characters kind of gets their own chapter. Not necessarily, but like
yeah,
I feel like a lot of the other ones got breathing room, but like your childhood friends, your first love, and your coworkers all kind of get shortchanged a little bit.
yeah. Um, yeah. So I think the being on the train with your old mentor is also the first time you get one of those shade chase sequences after the opening
Hmm.
one, where like
Yeah.
the shade comes and attacks the train, and you have to take like photographs of it at the right time. Like you have to wait for it to open its mouth, but like it only does that for a little bit, and if you fuck it up, then you just die and have to restart. Um,
Yeah.
so you gotta not restart the whole game, restart that photography sequence.
First, yeah,
Yeah,
they're pretty good about the checkpoints.
yeah,
If you have to redo a section, I will say that.
yeah. Which they are very like they have a lot of very tight checkpoints, which means if you like me are saves coming, make sure you have a bunch of different saves, because the auto save will overwrite past stuff very
True.
quickly.
Yeah. True.
Um, so you fight off the shade, but it does make Ren, who's is what she's decided to call herself by that point, the girl that you're with, who doesn't know her name and you don't know her name, so you just kind of got to pick one. Um, which, by the way, if you translate the daughter's name, the butterfly name, it's in symbols. I believe it's Marin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ren is like a shorthand version of her name. Um, so yeah, she's like weakened by this encounter and becomes more transparent, and you have to like carry her around on your back. And then the train wrecks because of the shade. And then you meet the train conductor, who's a boar, who's like your childhood friend from the protests. And he like carries you on his back for like through the old village, which he's kind of a fun character as well. I
Yeah.
do enjoy most of the characters, even though some of them, like the dog, are like very much anime stereotypes.
I think she's like the worst example of
She's
that. Most
definitely
Yeah.
most of them are more human, but I, I don't know. Like I said,
the
the
weasel's a little
childhood.
bit tsundere stereotype as well, but not quite as bad.
Yeah. And he's got like more of a reason to be like that too.
Yeah,
A little bit I feel like. But yeah, the dog is definitely Nisa
yeah,
is her name, and the human version is Jean, his first girlfriend or whatever.
yeah.
Um yeah.
And she was the daughter of one of the like contractor type people who came to the town, um, to
Oh
develop
yeah,
it.
I forgot about that.
But she joined their protesting anyway because she became good friends with them.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I would do.
yeah. And so yeah, let's see. After the boar, who's then you get down into the city finally, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So the city is like this, like really like gloomy, full of ghosts. Everyone's forgotten their names. It's rough there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like the city kind of as like the metaphor it represents. I thought it was a fun space. It's like very unsettling, especially at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one big problem with the city, and it's way too big and confusing to navigate.
I don't
And
know. Yeah, it's definitely bigger than the other places up to that point for sure.
okay, so here's the real reason why I dislike it. The player character is one of the slowest characters ever seen in video games.
Fair.
Yeah.
And when you need to
Yeah.
go like take a picture of something on the other side of the city,
Hmm.
it gets a little
Yeah,
frustrating.
Bit of a slog.
that's
You are
fair.
correct.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, you're not wrong. And it's not like a I'm gonna get lost in this. It's really only like 3 regions, 4 I guess, including the cafe. But it is kind of a hassle to walk between them if you like forgot one thing and need to go back for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just salty.
Yeah, that's fair. You're allowed to be for that one. Um, yeah, so this in the city you like meet everyone associated with the old newspaper business pretty much. You don't quite meet the ex-wife yet, although you do see her at the very beginning of the city,
Hmm.
but then she kind of disappears. And so you meet like your boss, who is a bear, your like younger coworker who works for like a recycling company that his family owns that got like really rich off of selling trash and then became real estate moguls, which is crazy.
Yeah. That's definitely something.
And then there's like a your scrappy senior coworker who's like very who's been protesting stuff in the city and is sort of very vocal and um, like uh, he's kind of prickly. He's a little bit also
Yeah.
tsundere. He has a hard time like saying the truth about how he feels, and he'd rather like fight you over things than actually talk about stuff. But
Well,
he's
in,
also a
you
good
do
dude.
find out that he has known the woman you would eventually marry for a long time and had a thing for her, but you like beat him to the punch.
Yeah,
And so you had like a big falling out over that. I think like a physical fight, if I remember correctly.
yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
yeah,
and there's like a story that it sounds like the bear, the boss, like got caught up in investigating something that no, it's actually Eugene like was investigating something that like kind of ticked off some people in powerful positions, that got the magazine in trouble, and then they came and like disappeared the boss.
yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
It's very vague. I would say it's not confusing, it's vague.
yeah. They it's unclear how much it was Eugene's article that was really the sort of deciding factor, or how much the boss may have already been investigating stuff on his own, or how much the boss like intentionally took the fall for him, or like what the deal was. But the boss got disappeared. And it's implied later
Yeah.
like put in some kind of like government like prison facility possibly.
Yeah, and that's why the vagueness of it bothers me because like there's for sure some compelling stuff happening here.
Yeah, and
But we'll never know.
I think it's also implied that the people that got pissed off were related to the like construction company that was building the stuff in Eugene's hometown, and like that's why
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
reporting on it.
they're
Yeah,
like
it,
the
it seems like
token bad guy.
Yeah,
yeah, like that's a big kind of overarching villain. Um yeah, interesting.
yeah, and so shrug. He
Yeah.
disappeared is the point, and then like without him the magazine couldn't keep going, and so they closed the magazine, and then he opened this like photography cafe, where people could put their art on the walls, like their photographs on the walls and stuff. But it still had like too much of a connection to this old case. Like he named it the same thing as the as the magazine was named.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so eventually, like they strong armed him out of the building, and he had to close up the shop too.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so you meet everyone. All of the spirits from previous to this point also come and meet you in the cafe, and you have like you can give them a rousing speech and talk about how the seer, it's gonna do his best or whatever. Because at this point, for whatever reason, for most of the story, they play very coy about like the main character not realizing that he is the seer. Um, like, no, we're
Well, it
on a
doesn't
journey
help
to find the seer, and it's like, well,
it doesn't help that nobody else seems to realize he's the seer until that moment when they're like, "Nope, it's real now."
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I mean, like, it's you could argue at some point that like because there's an old seer, the golden seer, and the shadow
Yes.
seer, and like the
Mhm.
golden seer is his grandfather. Um, and so
And he was the shadow seer, but he's also back again to try again, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. So there's a whole thing, but yeah, for you've talked to all your coworkers and friends and kind of like patch up some of the stuff, and that you hear the things that they wish they had told you, and say things that like they needed to hear, that kind of stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and then you take the bear's bicycle and go, is that right? Or where do you go next?
Uh, I think you get the bicycle later. So at this
Yeah, you get
point,
it later.
Yeah,
you
you go to
I
the
think you
movie
just
theater with the horse, right?
you
Yes.
fall asleep on the sofa in the cafe and then you just wake up somewhere else and you
That's
walk further and the movie theater is just there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
This is where things start getting really like non-Euclidean in a big way.
I
yeah,
mean, it has sort of been happening already
It
because you
true,
like
it
wake
has.
up in the cabin from
yeah,
time to
in the
time
Yeah.
and
Dusklands, or whatever the by the Night Waters. That's what they call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like periodically you go to sleep and then you wake up in this weird foggy dreamscape, like on the edge of a lake in the woods, and there's like weird things kind of hanging in the air, and you have to find these photos that you took and then it will show you the truth behind the photos, like who the people are in them and like what actually happened in your real life related to that.
Hmm.
Um, so that's where it's funny. I remember like very, very early on in the play-by-play history when Shanbo was doing like um, Papa EO and some other games, we talked about this idea of like games that were a metaphor for someone's life, and like that they would often have a like turning point reveal moment where it would drop the metaphor and like actually turn things around and show you explicitly like what stuff represented. Um,
Hmm.
and like it was weird how many like he ended up playing like 2 or 3 games that all had that kind of in common, and this one does it too, where it's like, yes, the thing you're
Yeah.
playing is a big old allegory, and here's the moment where we drop the allegory and like show you what we were actually talking about in case you didn't get it up until this point. And
Yeah. Yeah. I guess at some point they do have to just be like, here it is. Here's
maybe,
the
I mean,
point.
you could argue that like that's not trusting your audience to like have good reading comprehension, like good
No, I
literary
agree.
analysis
Yeah.
skills, but like maybe you don't trust your audience to have those skills. I don't know.
Well, I think and this is like we're getting way off course here. I feel like that's just kind of become the norm across almost all media. Is like eventually you do everything does just kind of spell it out, just to make sure you're
Yeah,
not missing the point.
just for the people who
I
haven't
feel like
hit back, who haven't gotten it yet.
I do feel like I see that kind of across almost every piece of media um, that I interact with at this point, and maybe it's just because I have like too much I I pay too much attention. I don't know, but I feel like that's like becoming more and more of a thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
fair.
And I
think
guess
it
you
can
do
it can really serve as like a climax to things,
true.
right?
That is
Yeah.
true. Yes. Um,
Um, well, it's hard. It's difficult because like you need to walk a line between like it feeling like a dramatic reveal, and depending on how obvious you've gotten up to that point, it feeling like a yeah, we know that. Like we've known that for the whole thing basically. Like it's not that exciting.
yeah.
Um, but this game does an okay job, I think. Like it's fine.
Yeah. No, I think so.
But yeah, so you wake up at the movie theater, at like an old movie theater, and you go into it, and there's like a white horse standing in the middle of the theater, and this is your ex-wife character, um, and she's like actually a unicorn, but you like her faded form doesn't have the horn anymore, which is like a really sad statement.
Hmm.
Um, and you have to like fix the fix the old cinema, and this is where I guess it's not really revealed yet like why they got a divorce, just that like they did, and she felt in the end like he wasn't really there for her, or he wasn't providing the type of comfort that she like needed,
Hmm.
and it like did not work out. And like the way they describe it, kind of like she kind of hates you, but also she like still cares about you. It's just
Yeah.
she's just pretty hostile also.
Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, I like that they have I guess what it comes down to, like I have said all this already. I like that they can portray her as being actively hostile, but like not make her out to be a villain because of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it's a
sometimes
good
you just get
balance.
so hurt by someone in your life that it's like, well, yeah, of course they're not gonna like forgive you. Of course, at best, they're just gonna accept what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, like she has
So,
a right to be hostile, and it's not this is not a relation. They want to make it clear that like this is not a relationship you can repair, right? Like you're not going to get back
yes.
with your ex-wife. she she has already found somebody else, I think they reveal at some point. Um
Yeah, I think she's did she remarry?
yeah,
Maybe, I
she
don't remember.
remarried and like has a kid with the new guy.
Okay,
And
yeah.
there's like a thing of like, hey, this could have been you, but it's not. Um
Sorry,
yeah.
loser.
Um
Yeah.
I mean, he is a little bit, but
A little bit.
Yeah, he's trying.
He is.
I guess the game, the course of the game is him learning that he needs to try.
Hmm.
um, yeah, so you have this thing, and the horse leads you into the mountains, and on the way there's like a stop off in a graveyard, and that's kind of where the thing about the daughter is revealed, because there's like a
Hmm.
little grave set apart from the others with like a torn apart butterfly on it, and I think in one of the dreamscapes you're like moving through and you see a little like child's mobile like you would hang above a crib that's like made of carved butterflies, and it's like, okay, I get it, this
Yeah.
was the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens immediately in between the movie theater and the graveyard, because you kind of walk through this void,
Mm-hmm.
um
You follow a
and I
purple
feel like you're
light.
following
Yeah.
the light, and the light is the baby butterfly baby,
Yep.
baby fly.
Marin.
Yeah, Marin.
And yeah, um I don't know what happens next.
Um, let's see. After that is when you get to like um the bridge is out, and it's like you have to go down into a
Mm.
flooded valley, and it's like your old home kind of, and that's where you see the fish.
The
Your
fish.
mom, the fish.
Your mom the fish. I think, like, to me she was, this is another one where like it's very vague and there's a hinting of a like a much more interesting story
Yeah,
Yeah,
going.
for sure.
holy shit, that hinting.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, she was maybe part of some kind of powerful international mafia family or something.
Yeah, so basically the way they like all they explain is that her family had a lot of money and
They were in a lot of debt.
they somehow ended up, yes, in a ton of debt. So the mother moves to this small town, like basically has gone into hiding. And while she's there, she like meets the dad and kind of settles into this life, but secretly resents it
Hmm.
um the whole time.
Feels
And
like she's being
like,
stifled, and yeah.
yeah. And so eventually like things get cleared up with her family, and she goes back to live with her family, and like basically just takes off and like just
Hmm.
leaves her kid. And she tries to kind of come back, and understandably that Eugene like doesn't understand what has happened, why she has left, and so doesn't really want to you know entertain her
Yeah.
coming back. Yeah.
There's the
Which,
implication that she might have tried to come back to visit at one point during a like rainstorm and landslide and might have died on the mountain, but it's unclear.
yeah, I forgot about that.
He
That's
was at
true.
least supposed to come visit that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, whether she
Yeah.
did or not is left ambiguous. Um,
Yeah. Whether she's dead or alive, who knows?
but she didn't come back and visit again after that. Like, they
I
never
guess that
saw
is
her
true.
again after that. So either she took that as a sign to stop trying to contact him, or she died in that landslide.
Yeah. She probably died. Probably died.
Yeah, unclear. But yeah, no, there was like the guy who comes to get her is like this like chauffeur in in a car. And, like, it's, I don't know. There's like between how they like weirdly went into debt and like her not being able to come back until it's paid off. There is a question of like, what was her family involved in? Like, who are these people? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the mystery behind the scenes is there's something going on there, but we'll never find out.
yeah, and in like her um I'm trying to remember how you get these scenes. There are some occasional scenes that you can get with people where you are like a spirit version of Eugene and you're peering in on a very blurry vision of what they are doing right now, like what the person is up to today, um, and kind of like, what they think about you from the past. And like when you find her in her vision, she's in like this big like mansion, living a like weird life of a lord kind of fancy thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember if
I
she's like
feel like
remarried or not, but like she's got a lot of responsibility, whatever it is. Like she's like
yeah,
very busy and in charge of some things. And
I feel like there's a Nightwater sequence where you get all of those. Or I feel like those come in maybe in like the Nightwater
no,
sequences. I can't remember for
they're
sure.
definitely not the Nightwater, because the Nightwater is always the ones that are the like the explicit like visual like black and white memories of the past.
Oh,
Um,
sure. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I
and
thought it was when you fill out who they really are.
yeah, I think it's when you fill out in the
Mm,
journal who each person actually is.
yeah, that sounds right. That sounds correct.
Um, then you get the little vision of them. Um, yeah, so like that would imply that she is still alive and didn't die in the landslide. Uh,
Eh,
maybe question mark,
so
unless these,
like we know like the grandpa is dead, and
that's
you
true.
still get a scene with
Get
him.
a scene with him, but he does say some things that like imply that he's in some kind of afterlife on the mountain somewhere or something like
So,
that. So who
yeah, I
knows?
think the afterlife is called the Dawnlands, and I feel like I remember like rereading the texts that accompanied those like
Mhm.
spectral spirit bits. So I think it's in some of those he like recognizes that like they're in the Dawnlands, which means they're in the afterlife, and
Mhm.
he says something like, "I hope the Dawnlands is everything you wanted it to be," or something like that.
I
So I
think
would have to go
that's
back
the
and look.
grandfather, for sure. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's
I feel
everyone.
like yeah, I feel like it was mentioned in not in everyone, but in like some other characters. I'd have to go back and look because I
Yeah,
wasn't paying that much attention when I was
that's
reading those,
fair. It's
honestly.
all very like dreamlike and a little convoluted anyway.
Yes, yes,
I mean, his child is definitely dead.
Yeah.
yes, yes. We
Uh,
know that for sure. And the mentor is dead because we see
yeah.
his grave at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah. The grandfather disappeared. The mother disappeared. Um, and the mentor figure disappeared. So like they may or may not be dead. Not the mentor, the boss,
The
the
boss,
boss
yeah.
from the thing.
And the mentor we know is dead, and the
Yeah,
kid we know is dead.
yeah. Um, but the the like blurry future visions could also easily be like what he imagines they are up to now, right? Like they don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be like really what happened to these people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
big shrug.
Yeah, big shrug. And that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so there's
Uh,
you're starting your way up the mountain. You meet the unicorn and the butterfly, and then you're like actually up to the Sears Temple, right? Which is like the old shack where his grandfather used to live, like with his
yeah, so you
darkroom
do
and everything.
the fish, the I think they call it like the ruined temple, which is where like your childhood home with your
Oh
mother,
yeah, yeah,
and then yes, you go to the Sears Temple, which is your grandfather's cabin
yeah,
or a version of it.
The chase sequence again.
yeah. Oh, is
Yeah.
that on the way up, or is there's like a whole like weird sequence up at the temple where like the shade takes over for a little bit and you have to like break out of its hold.
I think there's a running chase sequence before that, and then there's that sequence, and then there's like the bike vehicle chase.
Well, that's a bit later. That's after
That's
you
later.
start
That's
up
later,
the
yeah.
mountain. First, there's the thing where you're like wandering through the cabin. That's like an infinite version of the cabin, and you have to like find the dark room and develop the photos. And um,
I think the cabin sequence was my favorite part of the game.
it's pretty cool.
Um,
Uh, I,
it
I
hits the like. Go ahead.
no, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say like I feel like it's the best use of like the best culmination of like the dreamlike elements that are kind of weaving through everything. Like it feels like the first time where it's just like, nope, it's about to get weird. Hold
Yeah.
on to your hats, like for real. And it's kind of also the first, maybe not the first time, but it feels like, oh shit, like there's actually stakes here. Like we could ruin this whole thing if we don't figure out how to snap out of whatever is going on.
Yeah.
It feels deeply, deeply evil. I
Yeah,
will say, like
the
the
shade
atmosphere
is
is
like
great.
the shade is like a sort of form of despair in this reading, where it's like it's trying to keep
Hmm.
you stuck in one place and forgetting everything about your life and just like sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, basically.
Hmm. Yeah.
For me, it was a little bit damaged in my recollection by being the first ending um, of this game. Because like in
Mm.
terms, I love a like real weird climactic end sequence, right? Like those. I've
Sure.
talked about this in other games before, that I love when a game does like a big finale, cool ending sequence. And the cabin could easily have been that. They could have done like a little epilogue type thing afterwards, where you reach the peak. And like that could have been the end of the game, but that is not remotely the end of the game. Oh my god, there's still like
Yeah.
3 hours left of this game.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot. There's a whole
Kinda.
lot.
I would have been pissed if they didn't end with them getting to the peak.
Well, yeah, you still have to get to the peak either way, but like getting to the peak could have been more of a like a
The
denouement
next thing you do
after,
after this.
yeah,
Yeah.
after the climax.
Getting to the peak already is kind of a denouement because like literally you just get there and you walk in a straight line and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's basically one long cutscene.
but there's a whole other sequence before that, because like after the
Yes,
cabin
there's several.
sequence, yeah, after the cabin sequence, then you have like a do you have the shade chase sequence first, or do you have the wander through that long tunnel first? Um,
Uh well, there's several tunnels that you wander through also. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a
Um
tunnel that has like a statue of all of like a wood carved statue of everyone you've met, and you like can
that's later.
interact with them.
That's
Okay, that's
I
later.
think that's like the second to last thing.
Yeah.
But I think there is another tunnel that you wander through at this point.
There's a tunnel before you get to the cabin.
Yeah, there's a
That
tunnel
too.
prior to the cabin. Um,
I'm trying to remember what happens at the end of the cabin. I don't remember how the cabin sequence shakes out.
you break out, and it's like a storm, and you like you can't find Ren, and you like start up the mountain, because there's like a path leading towards the peak that's behind the cabin. So I know you
Hmm.
start up that path. I don't remember
Yeah.
like if you just get I think there's like another chase sequence here, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, is this the one? Is this
Yeah.
the one where like you're running, you like find Ren and you run through the woods, and the spirits tell you like which direction you should be going, and you have to like react
Um
to that really quickly?
no, I think that's later. I think that's in the big long chase scene
This is what I mean by like too
because I
many endings. Like there's all these climactic
yeah,
sequences in a row where like any
because
one of
there's one
them.
chase scene. Yeah, I think the one on the bike is where everybody's there and
You're
tells
right.
you go this
Yeah, I
way.
think you're right.
There's the running one where you're carrying Ren and she's saying go left up here or take the small path or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't remember if that's before or after the cabin. So
I think
it happens
I
at some
think that
point.
happens here. Um, there's a sequence at some point where like you break out onto the mountain above the storm, and you see the like beautiful peak, and then you go and you talk to your old boss, the bear, and he gives you a bike, and then there's a chase sequence.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then at the end of that that chase sequence takes you through like every location that you've been in the game up until that point.
Hmm.
Like there's a chase.
And everybody comes back and like helps. So,
Yeah.
your boss gives you the bike and at first you have the bike. And then you like ramp off the mountain into the city
Hmm.
and then the boar comes and you're riding on the boar and like Ren is riding on the unicorn and then you're like running that way and then there's like more bike or maybe you're just running, I don't remember, but like
Eventually, you
yeah,
get onto the back of the ox, and you're like trying to
yes.
struggle along the back of the ox as like
Yes, that's
big
what I was
landslide
thinking.
stuff is pouring towards you, and
You're on foot but you're also on an ox.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually, okay, so like eventually you have to jump off the ox and into like the mouth of the tunnel. And then you like look back and you can take like one last picture of everybody gathered, like wishing you well as you leave. The ox barely fits in the picture. If you're lucky, you can get both of his eyes in the shot.
Yeah.
Because everyone's on his enormous head. And then you're at the mouth of the tunnel, and I think that's the tunnel that's like another end sequence
Yes.
where you're like talking to all of the statues of everyone, and it's like I just said goodbye to everyone and had a moment with everyone. I don't need to have an additional moment with everyone.
Yeah,
But
I feel like that's, you just said goodbye to like the allegorical animal forms and now you're like saying a metaphorical goodbye to like the actual person, or you're acknowledging that person's
yeah,
like space in your life is kind of what it feels like.
sure.
Uh yeah, I'm trying to make it
No,
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I
make it
a
work.
reasonable reading.
I feel like you could have gotten that through the journal updates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know that that needed to be its own sequence. Um, and
I
then
will say it does give you that immediate visual, like you completed these and you didn't complete these,
yeah,
basically.
it's your progress markers for how you did in your journal, basically.
How bad you did. No, I did good. The only ones I didn't get were the ox and the goat,
Hmm.
and everyone else I got. And I didn't really like, I didn't like do anything special, so I feel okay about
Yeah,
that.
that's reasonable. And then you exit the tunnel, and I feel like there's still like another thing that happens before you actually get to the peak there. Maybe it's just some cutscenes um, about like the
I think you're just on the peak.
yeah. I mean, there
There
are some cutscenes about like how um, because at some point it has to be revealed who Ren is, right? That
I think
happens.
that's
Oh,
after the
wait, yeah.
cabin. That's after the cabin.
Yeah.
Because there's like that big sequence where you fall super far and you
Oh yeah,
wake
there's
up
the
like
whole
in the
sequence
night
of
waters.
getting out of the night water where you
Yeah,
like
that's the one we forgot.
yeah.
Is you I guess like you leave the cabin, you can't find Ren, you go up that path, and then you end up like falling into an infinite void that ends up like at the bottom deepest part of the night waters. And I think you're following the butterfly from there, or you're following the Embershine petals, and it eventually leads you to Ren, and Ren is freaking out like, what am I? I have my own memories, but I have your memories too. And then that's the reveal.
Yeah.
And then your mom fish comes and helps you, and then you walk some more,
Yeah, you walk
and then
along the
you end up on
branches
the mountain again.
you walk along the branches that like of the trees that are coming up from the night water, which is a really visually cool like moment.
Hmm.
And then like as you do, you and Ren are having a conversation about like what the fuck Ren actually is, and like what it means that like
Yeah,
your childhood self has come back to help you. And it's also happening during like when you were a kid, you had like a really bad fever at one point, so you're meeting like you like astral projected during this fever, and you're meeting this like astral projection version of yourself.
yeah, yeah. You astral projected into the fever dream, or like the like comatose hallucination of your future self,
Yeah,
which I don't know. I guess that makes some kind of sense, like as a narrative
No.
construct. No,
As a
not as a real
narrative.
thing. Not as a real thing, but like as if you want to like make up something like you can only commune with your past and future self if you're like in a coma. Sure, I'll buy that as a story element.
sure,
That's all I'm saying, as a story element.
sure.
I think one thing that doesn't make it feel so weird is that they're always quite like cheerful towards each other
Yeah.
The two
and
of them,
like lighthearted
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, they have a bit of a rapport. It's a little weird that like because your younger version of yourself is still in a female body the entire time, and so there's like definitely some gender papers that could be written on like the implications of that. Um,
Yeah.
but they don't. The game weirdly does not really get into that at all. Of like they just kind of choose to leave the whole big gender question mark thing unacknowledged. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Like
I got to be honest. I think the game just wanted to have like a middle-aged man with a younger girl character.
I think they just
Probably.
wanted to obscure it so it was less obvious that it was a younger version of him. I think if it had been a young boy, you would have figured out that it was him like really early on, and they were trying to keep you from doing that.
Also, there's a lot of like psychology talk that I've seen in the past year or two about like healing your inner child.
Hmm.
Um, which this is an interesting inversion of that because it's the inner child healing the adult,
Yeah,
which is kind of like how that works anyway.
yeah,
It's like reconnecting with your inner child and like fixing what you should have fixed a long time ago, then to heal yourself in the present. But like
yeah,
this feels like a fun inversion of that, I guess.
yeah. No, it's a good like kind of take on that idea. And you know, if you have to have a manic pixie dream girl, it may as well be your own inner child, like teaching you to see the world in a childlike way once again,
Yeah,
like giving
both
you
your
hope.
inner child and your literal child.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, this is what.
but I also agree with the idea that maybe they just wanted a I don't want to say lowly, but I just did. Girl character as
Yeah,
like the main foil for your middle-aged man, which whatever. That's like a trope at this point. I'm not gonna
yeah.
say too much about it.
It's maybe a little creepy, but like whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like as you know, it never gets like weird and sexual
Yeah.
tensiony. Like, thank
No,
God.
absolutely
I
not.
was so worried
Yeah.
about that in the beginning, but
So
they don't
was
go there, so
I.
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Thank God. Whew.
no matter what the like audience expectation is, like the game itself is very like does not even remotely go there. It's like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is a little girl. You're kind of like a misguided, didn't quite get to be a dad figure, and like you feel this sense of responsibility towards her. Although they do give you the option to abandon her multiple times,
Yeah.
which is you know
Yeah.
metaphorically interesting, but in the moment very funny. Like not funny, but like like who would fucking do that, right?
Well,
It
one
has a
time I got one of those achievements, and it's just because like, oh, I want to walk like 2 feet away and see what this thing is before I advance the story by picking her up, and I got like finger wagged for doing that. I'm like,
Yeah,
she's right there, I can see her.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no, sometimes there. I did often like walk back a ways to see if I'd like missed anything. And if you get too
mhm.
close to like the entrance to the area, it's like, do you want to turn back and give up on your quest? And I'm like, no. I did it.
No.
Like I did it on the mountain in the very beginning. And they have like near automata style like lettered endings
yep.
that you can get.
I saw that at the end, and I don't think I got any of them, so I was like, huh, what did
Yeah.
I do?
I think they're mostly for
But
turning back and abandoning Ren. So
that would make sense.
I got one for walking into the night waters.
yeah, you can,
Oh,
and they ask you about that like 4 or 5 times to confirm that you want to do it.
uh,
I suspected that was probably a bad ending, so I went forward, saved, and then loaded a previous save to double check that that was a bad ending, and it was indeed a bad ending.
yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, you can just wade into the like red tinged shade themed part of the night water. It will be like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm giving up on everything. I'm giving up on life. I'm done. Like, all
Yeah,
right.
not worth it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, so somehow in some order you get all of these various ending sequences, and then you end up on the actual peak of the mountain with Ren, who at this point you know is you, and you like just see the view of the like tops of the clouds and the stars, and it's all very pretty. Um, and yeah, you just have a conversation with your inner self. And that's more or less the end. I think there are still like another cutscene before the credits, and if you got the good end, like the true ending, another cutscene after the credits. So like, there's still
Yeah, the
more.
cutscene before the credits in the Prism ending is you find out that at the very beginning you had a car crash, and that whole thing was like you were in a fugue state
Yeah,
while paramedics were tending to you,
yeah.
and they ask you your name and you start crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And
okay.
you're like, hold on, this is I'll tell you, but this is hard for me. It's like it means a lot to me.
I went through like a whole fucking spirit journey. I'm just processing this, so give me a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Which, you know, I don't blame you.
yeah. So and that's the story. It's I enjoyed it. I think overall, like there were moments where it
Yeah.
kind of dragged, and it like I think it was longer than it needed to be. There was definitely some sequences that could have been tightened up a little bit, but like I appreciate the metaphor. I appreciate how the mechanics play into the metaphor. It's kind of like for the most part a weirdly chill game, considering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
do wish they leaned into the more weird stuff a little bit more, I
yeah,
think.
and I I mean I guess it's not the story they wanted to tell, so like it's not really um this is more of a personal preference thing than I think a quality thing, but like I would have liked if they had played coy with the allegory a little bit more, like if it wasn't so immediately obvious um
Yeah.
what all this stuff was, and if we got to know the spirits kind of more on their own merits rather than as metaphors for people that we knew. Um,
Yeah.
but like it was, it was fine. It was. I guess I went into this game with like little to no expectations, and so I came out of it pretty positive.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it as well. I mean, it's definitely a weird one. Uh but not in a bad way. A little slow. Does it like maybe kind of feel like it overstays its welcome a little bit? A tiny bit, but
Especially
like
towards the
nothing that
end.
I'm not willing, especially towards the end. Yeah, like nothing that I'm not willing to forgive. Um yeah, worth your time, I think, if this sounds interesting, even
Yeah,
though we've spoiled
it's
the whole game.
the thing that like would make me hesitate to recommend it to people necessarily is that like it is basically a walking simulator. Like the
Yes.
mechanics are
Yes.
not like this is a game that you play because it has a fun mechanic. Um, the mechanics are just
Unless
like
you're really into photography games, in
I
which case
guess.
this actually does let you like control your f-stops and like it gives you manual focus, which most camera games don't do. I was surprised that it got that in depth.
Yeah, you have
But
to
it's
unlock it,
also
but
not
you
that
do
deep.
eventually get
Yeah.
manual focus. Um, yeah, like it does care about the photography mechanic, but like it's just a here's a room, go around and
Mhm.
look at everything in the room and then progress.
Yeah.
Um, which like it would be generous to call it a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool scenery and you can take some pretty cool pictures if that's just what you want to do.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it lets you.
and it fully lets you. Yeah.
Yeah, it lets you have like an album for like pictures that are not of anything in particular that are just like your personal picture. And then at the end of the game, it lets you, I think, based on how much ash you've accumulated, it lets you
Yeah.
Yes.
save a certain number of them if you want for posterity, which is kind of a cute extension of the central like theme and metaphor of like preserving
Yeah.
your memories. I like
I
that.
think it even says when you pick those, it's like, great, now these won't be forgotten.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the point that you're trying to get across with this story.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. But like, I don't know if like his problem was never really forgetting these people, right? Like, I mean, maybe it was, but they don't really kind of show you like the forgetting. They just kind of show you the remembering part. Um,
Yeah.
so it's the preservation of memory is not as strong as a thematic metaphor. I feel like as the idea of like truly seeing things and like understanding their inner selves, and also like the corollary, the implied corollary of like your life is how you choose to view it, like the pun intended, the lens through which you you choose to view life is a lot of, you know,
Hmm.
will change kind of how you
And
feel about it.
and they even set that up pretty nicely at the very, very beginning. They give you like a text section that's voiced over, but it lets you like pick the end of each sentence, and each sentence is like really like bummer, negative, or like positive and optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
and that definitely sets up the theme of, your own kind of
Yeah,
mindset affecting these things. And clearly Eugene has a pretty bad mindset
yeah.
otherwise.
There's an
Uh,
achievement for picking only the positive answers in that first sequence. Apparently, I did not get it.
and for picking only the negative answers. I did see that as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting that like the all the places where they give you a choice of like responding to something, whether it's like in your journal about, um, how you feel about things, or most of the time, like when you're talking to spirits and like it comes up, how do, um, like how should you respond to their statement? Um, Most of the time, what they want you to do is say what the spirit wants to hear,
Yeah.
which felt
Yeah,
a little disingenuous to me because I'm like, I don't know that this is actually what my character thinks and feels. I think this is what the character I'm talking to wants me to say, and so like that's what I'm gonna say. But like, I don't know if I feel like Eugene would agree with that.
that's why I
Yeah,
didn't say
that
what they wanted me to say.
Yeah, that's why you
yeah.
didn't save scum everything.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I have kind of mixed feelings about that, but because I think that's not necessarily like the honest answer. It's just it's the character like reading. I mean, it fits thematically into like you have to understand who these characters are to know what they want ultimately,
Hmm.
right? But so like the understanding
It
people's
feels,
true nature fits, but it doesn't feel it feels dishonest a little bit.
yeah, it feels like you're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Um, so like those parts didn't always quite work for me for that reason. Um, but overall, like I said, I think the story is interesting and interesting. So here's the thing. Here's I think what my conclusion actually is. I think the way the story is told is really cool and really interesting. Like I appreciate the themes, and I really like this whole like spirited away spiritual journey metaphor Wizard of Oz thing they've got going on. I love how the mechanic plays into those themes. I just don't find Eugene that interesting, and I found the story being told not actually that interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I might agree.
Because like I
I
mean,
haven't made up my mind.
yeah, it wasn't like a bad story or anything. I just like Eugene's kind of a real sad sack, and I feel like I've seen a lot of manic pixie dream girl like just change your point of view kind of
Yeah,
unveilings, and like I'm like, okay, I don't really care that much if Eugene recovers from this or not. Like,
the other one that it reminded me of, and I know Maquette was a little more ambiguous, but I definitely read Maquette as being from the point of view of the man in the relationship. And that one was especially bad because he was just a real piece of shit.
yeah,
Like that character throughout the whole thing just like sucked. And at the end it's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be sympathetic to this guy because he's so sad about his girlfriend that he dumped." Like,
yeah,
what? Fuck off.
yeah.
It's not as bad as that again, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of the
definitely not
same.
that bad because like you get the impression that like through the whole time like Eugene has genuinely been trying, right? Like he's not a bad dude. He's just like kind of a sad sack.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. Maybe I've just like consumed one too many pieces of media about like average sad sack middle aged dude. But
I
like
think that's the problem. Yeah.
I wish like there was more play between Eugene and Ren.
yeah,
I think that's my main issue. That doesn't seem to be the focus.
Yeah, explore that relationship more. Like address the weird gender elephant in the room. Like maybe make that a part of the exploration. Like I think that could
Yeah.
have gone some really interesting places. It also, to be fair, could have gone some really like cringe and awful places. So like maybe it's
Hmm.
better that they didn't address it than addressing it poorly. But like you also could have done something really interesting with it.
Yeah.
It did make me tear up at some points, though. So,
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
fair.
there were a lot of portions that like were like they did a good job at being emotionally affecting. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those games that it's like this was good, so we're gonna rag on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, even though I wouldn't put it in the tier where it's like we're gonna nitpick every tiny little thing that wasn't there to make it perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but
don't compare it
yeah,
to Thousand Exorcist.
It's not
I
on that
that's
level.
wild to me that somebody did that, and that's like that you came into it with that expectation. I didn't know anything about this game, so
Yeah.
but that's
I
crazy that
mean,
someone said that.
it's sort of the same like walking sim,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but
guess
that's about it.
mechanically, like as an exploration of like a story told in a non-linear way through mostly walking, it's like it has that form factor in common a little bit, but yeah, it's very different games.
You got to be real clear about what part of 1000 times resist you're comparing it to if you're going to make that comparison. I think that tracks for like anything that you're ever going to compare to 1000 times resist. You got to be really specific like what exact aspect of it you're talking about
Yeah.
because there's that could be a real letdown if someone takes it the wrong way.
Yeah. And I also like going into it, like my other potential touch point of reference was like visually, art style wise, it looks a little bit like Necrobarista, which is also a much better
Mhm.
game.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I
Uh,
also it looked enough, it looked a bit like Necrobarista, but it also looked enough like weeaboo shit where I'm like, oh, this could be some real anime bullshit. So I was kind of girding myself against that.
a little bit on guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
To
it
be fair,
only
Necrobarista has some weeaboo shit.
yeah, that's fair. And it luckily it like was not like it had a little tiny bit of some like anime trope nonsense, but for the most part it did not feel like that at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good on
that's
them.
fair. I mean, again, anytime I see like a manic pixie preteen anime girl,
Yeah.
I clench a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Pre-
God.
preemptive clench. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not necessary for this one. It was fine. She was fine. It was him all along.
Yeah. It all worked out okay.
Yeah. I
The
don't know.
ending song.
I don't remember.
I got so excited when I heard it because I knew it was Kevin Pankin doing the
Okay.
music.
Yeah, you're a resident music guy, so I mean the music in this game was nice. Like overall, I don't have like much to say about it, but there were a couple times I was like, oh, this is like overall the vibe felt very cohesive. It felt like everything was like put in place intentionally in ways that complemented everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like the story was a little bit weird and confusing and nebulous and a little bit wooey, but I overall well crafted piece of thing.
Yeah, I overall I think I had a good time with it, and I will think positively on it going forward. I can't yet
Yeah,
tell if it's going to be one of those games where I end up thinking about it a lot and it will grow in my esteem over time, or if it's going to be one of those games that I entirely forget immediately and just never think of. Like it really could go either way.
yeah, I understand completely. Um,
I
at
really
this
want
point,
to
I'm
try
waiting.
one of their other games because I think the themes would fit me better.
Yeah, maybe we'll depending on how long they are, maybe we'll schedule one of those at some point
Eh,
and do it for the pod.
Yeah,
Not
definitely
not
interested in at
soon.
least.
Like
not
Yeah.
soon.
but eventually.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in at least what are those? What are they,
Yeah.
really? What is this?
Yep. Yeah, it would be good to have like a couple different constellation points to compare, to get more of a sense of this team's whole vibe.
Yeah.
Because maybe this one's an outlier. Who knows? It
I
seems
mean,
like
it
it might be.
seems like it must be an outlier, but again,
But
eh.
they've only made what, like 4 games, including this one, 3, something like that. So
4 including this one, and their first game is like almost, I think it was from over a decade ago.
hmm
Um, so
yeah,
yeah.
all right. Like I am I enjoyed the game enough that I would be willing to play another one. I did not enjoy the game enough that I would be willing to play another one immediately. is
That's fair.
is
Yeah.
what it comes
Yeah.
down to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um,
Like, I'm not mad that we played this. I enjoyed myself overall. Just,
yeah. But speaking of sequels that we are long overdue in playing, uh,
mhm.
unless does anyone else has any other points on this one?
Now we're ready
Oh,
for the segue, baby.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Speaking of games that we have sequels that we've been meaning to play, we're finally going to get around to playing Butterfly Soup 2. We
Yay.
collectively very much enjoyed the first Butterfly Soup, which is a visual novel by Brianna Lay about, um, it was Asian American or Asian Canadian? Um,
Uh, uh,
San Francisco
Good
Bay
question.
Area. So Asian
Okay.
American. Well, a bunch of Asian American gay students. I guess mostly lesbian. One of them is bi, I think. Um, and just like their high school experiences. And the first one was like charming and funny and just like a real good time. And the sequel has been out for ages. So we've been meaning to play it.
2022.
Yeah, we've been meaning to play it and just never quite gotten around to it. And now we're getting around to it. We're gonna play it. So it's
Oh, so I'm looking at the taglines for these games on How Long to Beat. The tagline for the first one is a visual novel about gay Asian girls playing baseball and falling in love. The
mhm.
tagline for this one is gay girls playing baseball too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Um, yeah, it's only supposed to be like 2 to 4 hours according to the itch page. So yeah, you can
mhm.
get it on itch.io for name your own price. Um, so it's hopefully going to be like another quick, cute visual novel. Um,
Yeah.
and again, we really liked the first one, so I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. It's been a long time, though. I do not remember a lot of the details from the first
Yeah,
game.
I just
So
looked it up 7 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we may need to like refresh ourselves on what the heck even happened in the first game before going into the second one.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think I'll replay the first one in full, but definitely like a recap is going to be it's going to be warranted.
yeah. Yeah, fun coming of age story. Hopefully, um, we'll let you know in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And
Um
if you would like to tell us your thoughts on Opus Prism Peak or Butterfly Soup or any other game, or if you want to recommend games to us, please come hang out in our Discord. We have a Discord.
and you can find our Discord by going to the Linktree slash hang on. I switched to a new browser so all of my browser autofills are different. Linktree
Feedback Force
Feedback
Podcast.
Force
Feedback
Podcast,
first
I think.
podcast, yeah.
Okay.
One word.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to like
Uh,
get this. There we go. I need to like get my like I said, I switched to a new browser over the past couple weeks. I need to get all my autofills back in so that I can
yeah.
remember what that is.
And
Okay, there's one
also,
down.
by the way, we have a YouTube now.
Yeah, we do.
Not that
Hang on,
like
I
if
gotta
you're
add
listening
that.
to this somewhere else, then that's fine. Like you don't have to go to the YouTube if you're already getting the podcast. But uh, if you wanted to potentially like leave a comment on there, then And of course, I can't find the address right now, so I don't don't actually know.
I was gonna say, send me the link to the YouTube, and I'll put it on the link tree. I can do that much.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the yeah, it's the general. It's in the
Oh
general
yeah,
channel
of
of our
course it is.
Discord, youtube.com/@feedbackforcepodcast.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and which I thought I did, but it did not take me there. I guess I forgot the @ sign. Yeah. So we started at episode 201 with that. So like this will be the second episode up on the up on the page, but we're gonna try and keep releasing them on YouTube, just to have them, and that way, if that's where you prefer to listen to your podcasts, you can get them there as well.
Yeah. Now I have to remember how to log into the link tree, but I'll do that later.
Yeah,
I'll do that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be back hopefully in a couple weeks to play Butterfly Suit 2. Hopefully I don't get sick again. Hopefully none of you get sick either. Hopefully none of us get sick. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.